Do you feel like that guy? Watch this video. How do we pour Agar plates? This video is going to show you how, but before we get started, we need to run through 7 important points that you're going to need to make sure you have done before you get started. Number 1, make sure that everything you're going to use is sterile. That means all your glassware or your utensils, as well as your tabletop and your hands. So for your glassware and utensils and media, you're going to autoclave them in your pressure cooker or in an autoclave. And for your tabletop, you're going to just wash it down with 70% ethanol or isopropanol. And you're going to rub your hands too with the same. Number 2, make sure that everything you're going to need is prepared ahead of time. That seems obvious, but you'll be shocked how this little point can derail you. If you're in the middle of pouring plates and then you need to get something and it's not where it's supposed to be, it's far away, so you end up compromising your sterile environment while you're trying to go get that thing. So you must make sure that you always have everything you need ahead of time. Number 3, label your Petri dishes before you pour. You can do it afterwards as well, but it's always sensible to do it beforehand because you like to plan your work. So label the base, you don't label the lid, because if you're doing a lot of different dishes, you're going to have a situation where your lids can get exchanged, but the bases basically have the agar. That's why you always put the label on the base. Number 4, label all of your bottles and epis and media, and you must do this with permanent ink because in the autoclave or your pressure cooker, that ink is going to fade away and through use it's going to fade. So make sure you always have a permanent marker that you use for labeling everything. And you must label everything because you think you're going to remember what you put in this bottle or what's in that bottle. After a while, they all look the same and you're not going to remember. Number 5. Yes. Number 5, stack the plates so that you can comfortably hold at least 3 covered plates with one hand. By that, I mean if you have a Petri dish like this, and then you have like 3 in a stack, what you need to be able to do is hold all 3 with one hand. Because when you're pouring, you're basically going to be holding all 3, then you're going to lift the lid off the bottom, revealing the agar the bottom of the petri dish, and that's what you're going to pour into. Then you're going to put the lid back while you're holding the other 2, and then you're going to repeat it for the second one. And you're going to repeat it for the top one. So when you're done, you should have just used one motion to be able to pour 3 plates, and you'll see how I do that in a minute. And number 6, make sure that you always write everything in your lab book. You're not going to remember what you did, what little tweak you made, or, when you're doing this kind of thing, you can plan ahead of time, but when you're in the moment, stuff happens. So you must always record everything so that if anything went wrong or if anything went right, you can always go back to your data, your lab book, and see exactly what you did that actually gave you the result that you wanted. And number 7, work in the vicinity of a flame whenever you open the petri dish or the bottle or the media. So when you have the flame there, it basically creates a little bubble of sterility around the flame, going above it and a little bit around it. So you work within this bubble and you should be fine. Work fast and you should be just fine. Here I make sure that I take my pen, I hold my petri dishes all in a line, and I draw a black line up and down all of the bases. That's what I'm doing here. So when I show you, I'm showing you exactly where I've drawn the line. So here, I want you to notice here how much I struggled to get the bung off the Ellenmeyer flask. But I kept on at it. I just kept on using my little pinky and just holding that piece of cotton wool until I got it. I had a proper grip on it, and then I was able to just pull it off. But just notice how I don't let it touch anything else, and I do everything while it's still here in my pinky. When I finish, That's when I put it back up. But I flamed the Ellen flask before I do. So just watch that. I didn't edit it out to just show you that even if it's a little bit difficult, you gotta just keep on. And even if you see a little bit of flame coming when the cotton wool catches flame when you're flaming, don't worry about it. It happens. But just make sure that you sterilize the whole mouth of the bottle.